All right, man. I was pretty much done cutting videos tonight, but I forgot to do this particular video. I haven't listened to it. I just read the comment section. But in Cade Cunningham is getting a lot of MVP hate. And people also have conspiracy theories involving the NBA. Why this
Dead
is.
ass. And this is like no knock to Cade and none of them. Like what they doing in Detroit is amazing. Part of the Cade MVP propaganda right now is simply because you all were not watching basketball in Detroit 2 years ago when they won 14 games, and you all genuinely convinced yourselves that they were a historically bad team, that they were like the worst team of all time, but not putting into context that half of the roster was like in flux and constantly missing games and injured. So they barely played. But even in the year in 2023, when they were healthy and they were playing, they were a positive team. They were above 500 ball club. But because you weren't watching them and you let niggas get off some nasty shit 2 years ago, now all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, how is it possible that they're winning games? They were good 2 years ago when everyone was healthy and playing. That like on some real shit, that was actually what's going on right now. God damn, bro. It's a bunch of like idiots.
And at the end of the day, I don't really understand his angle. And I'll get to the comment section shortly. He said MVP propaganda, right? Saying that he's basically saying that he doesn't deserve to be in the MVP conversation. And obviously he's a Shea Gillisley-Alexander fan. I love Shea. How's it propaganda? Regardless of what you believe, in 2024, in a full 82 game schedule, and right now they're sitting at what, 54 games played? They're 3 wins away from matching their win total last year. Also, with this clip, conveniently left out, I don't know conveniently, but left out, right? It's the fact that he don't have a Jalen Williams next to him, a Shat Holmgren. He has Jalen Duren. Who's not coming to his own, honestly. So we could say he got a Shat next to him, but he don't have a Jalen Williams next to him. When people look at the Detroit Pistons roster, and let's just say he's an Oklahoma City Thunder fan, I'm just going to say with the Shea Gillisley, background behind him. When you look at the Detroit Pistons roster, part of the NBA also not popularizing the roster or showcasing their young and up and coming teams, even if they're not so good, is that people really, the casual fans, don't get an opportunity to get to know these guys. Jalen Duren, Asar Thompson, Dennis Jenkins, Javonte Green, Ron Hollins, Paul Reed. People know Karis LeVert, Marcus Sasser. They don't, Kevin Huerter, some people know, they don't get to know this roster, son. So they like, how are they doing this with these guys? Most people don't know who Jalen Duren is. Most people don't know who Ron Hollins is. They know a man Thompson, but they don't really popularize Asar Thompson. So basically to them, Tobias Harris, man, to a lot of people may be like just namesake. They feel like Tobias Harris is the second best player on this team. And look where he got them at. Compared to a New York Knicks team, respectfully, who got Karl-Anthony Towns, who in my opinion is a top 5 talent in the NBA. Mikal Bridges is somebody who got 20 points a game right across the bridge in Brooklyn and was really good when I believe he was in Phoenix, right? Also, on top of that, you got a guy like Josh Hart, who's pretty good. OG Anunoby, I believe he's an NBA champion. Really good player, right? So you can turn around and say, well, it's propaganda, and that's cool. It's not propaganda. It's not. You look at the Thunder roster, SGA is a dog. Jalen Williams is pretty good. Shat Holmgren, Alex Caruso was solid. People know them, obviously. Dortz. People know them because they was world champions last year. Wiggins, the sweet and sour sauce, Jared McCain. People know these people. Isaiah Hartenstein, and he's still somewhere still, or am I just blind? Maybe they traded him. Oh, there you go, right there. Isaiah Hartenstein. People remember him being in New York. So to people, y'all have a better roster. When they don't showcase, and shout out to Jalen Williams, when they don't showcase a team, like people don't know how, Jalen Johnson, they should be showcasing him more. And eventually that will come next year. Paulo Branchino, Franz Wagner, they're struggling a little bit, but they should be showcasing them a little bit more. When you continue to showcase respectfully, the same teams, the Golden State Warriors who on their way down, the Los Angeles Lakers who on their way down. You know, it should be about Wemby, the Thunder, the Minnesota Timberwolves, but they ain't sexy markets. This year, the Detroit Pistons should have had way more nationally televised games, way more than what they had. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it a bean. It's always Boston, LA. It's always the same thing. You know, it's time to really start to have a night in the NBA where they showcase the up and coming talent. You know what I'm saying? They showcase the Jalen Johnson. They showcase what they're doing in Orlando, which I feel like they will turn it around. You know, they showcasing, New Orleans Pelicans more. They need to be more show, even if the teams aren't that good. They need to showcase the Derrick Queens, the Jalen Johnsons. You know what I'm saying? They need to showcase the Charlotte Hornets, which they did. They are starting to turn it around. How do we know about these people, the average fan, if you don't get a chance to see them? But to say that a guy who turned down single-handedly helped turn down a franchise is a propaganda. How is it propaganda? Because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is averaging 32 points. Points per game is overrated. Let me say that first and foremost. You know what's the difference between a guy like Jalen Brunson and Cade Cunningham? See, most of y'all, they put a microphone in people's faces and they don't know nothing about basketball. This is why when I say things like I say, I don't consider Jalen Brunson, SGA point guards. I don't believe they are two guards that's playing the lead guard position. The reason the Knicks can't fuck with the Pistons right now, and they should with that roster run away from with the Eastern Conference respectfully, is because Jalen Brunson prefer to score 27 points a game. Nobody can get in the rhythm. He's not a real point guard. He's too concerned about getting his shot off and not getting Karl Anthony Towns started. The first thing is he should be trying to get everybody involved and then fit in where he get in at, where he need to pick up the scoring at. They got a two guard playing the point guard. That's the problem with the Knicks. Simple as that. And then by the time it come to the playoffs, he all wore down because he don't know how to win basketball games. He was playing with Luka and think that's the way you play. That's why Luka can't win. Even though they got to the finals prematurely in Dallas, right? He wore down. Why? Because the usage rate with the ball in his hand. You ain't gonna win like that. Michael Jordan had to figure it out. Even after all the accolades that Michael Jordan had, and like I said, I brought this up before in another video I did on my main channel. Michael Jordan was the MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Slam Dunk champion, NBA All-Star MVP game, All NBA Defensive First Team, All NBA First Team. The only year that's better than that, yes, he did that in one season. The only person that had a better year than that, in my opinion, it was Akeem Olajuwon. He was a Defensive Player of the Year, the MVP. You know what I'm saying? Finals MVP. You know what I'm saying? Also, all first team NBA defense, and all of that stuff. That's the only. But they look at the points per game. We live in a world where, oh man, he scored 20. That don't mean nothing. And I've said this plenty of times before. It was plenty of years where Jason Kidd probably in New Jersey should have been MVP. You talking about most valuable? You took Kidd off Jersey. Jersey ain't nowhere near sniffing the playoffs or the finals. Real talk. You take Kidd made them a lot of money. But to the NBA, they were saying when Jokic won the MVP, well, he only scored this amount of points a game, and that no MVP. They don't give a fuck about the point. That's why I didn't care about Steve Nash. Steve Nash legitimately got motherfuckers played. Tim Thomas, Joe Johnson, Amari Stoudemire. Sean Marion. He helped those careers. He made those guys better, and that's the difference for SGA. Whatever they doing in Oklahoma City Thunder, it's working. 32 points a game, 4.5 rebounds, 55% from the field. I mean, that's amazing. Almost 40% from the three-point land. But once again, he's a two guard playing the point guard position. That ain't take nothing away from his MVP bid at all. Can't take nothing away from the MVP bid. That's what he is. You want to, and I think really, it's between Cade and Cade Cunningham and Jaylen Brown and SGA. But I'm gonna tell you where Jaylen Brown and Cade got an edge over him at. And then you got, Jalen Brunson, 27 points a game, 3.4 rebounds, 6.1 assists, for almost 47% from the field, almost 38% from three. I mean, phenomenal. Phenomenal. But the thing about it is they ain't really making people better like Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham is getting the most out of his team. Legitimately. He's legitimately getting the most out of it. And all they going to go off the numbers. 26 points a game, almost 6 rebounds a game, 10 assists a game, almost 47% from the three, 33.5%, but he's making them better. And also on the defensive side of the floor, neither one of them is better defensively than Cade Cunningham. Neither one of them is better defensively than Cade Cunningham. That's a fact. Neither one of them dudes is better than him defensively than Cade Cunningham. SGA is getting 9 free throws a game. He deserves it. I think Jalen Brunson this year is around 6. They changed the rules on his ass, but the MVP he deserves it. He's around 5 this year or 6. Previous year, 7, 6.5, since he got to the Knicks. Cade, I don't honestly know, so we're going to find out here. This year, he was just below 6. So, at the end of the day, this is for him to say is propaganda. They lead in the East. They lead in the East. Once again, they lead in the East. Once again, he's better defensively than both of them. Every time they leave out defensive, they leave out MVP. They don't want to talk about defense. He's defensively doing it. He's making everybody better around them. He's a true point guard, and damn near he's averaging 3 more assists than damn near both of them. Shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it real. More than 3 than Shea, and more than 3 than fucking Jalen Brunson. And he can guard you. Come on now. And they got the best record in the league right now. And we'll see the Thunder pretty soon. But to say it's propaganda, like, let's keep it a bean. Let's keep it a bean about Oklahoma City Thunder. Man, them niggas ain't lit. Let's keep it real. I'm just gonna keep it a bean. Ain't nothing lit. I'm gonna get in my NBA bag here. Ain't nothing lit about the NBA, the Thunder. They're a really good basketball team, but ain't nothing lit about the Thunder. Nothing that you turn on the Thunder game and be like, yeah, watch the SGA. It's not, but they're not a lit team. When Detroit is good, the NBA is better. The Knicks is good, the NBA is in the great. But when the Thunder is good, don't nobody give 2 damns in the what. And y'all wouldn't even want. Let's keep it a bean, dude. If you're a Thunder fan, and I ain't got no disrespect for the Thunder. Don't nobody really care about the Thunder, to be honest. In the grand scheme of things, had Halliburton not hurt his fucking ankle, they wouldn't even be NBA world champions, respectfully. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Respect to this his channel, Legend of Winning, which is probably just based off statistics and stats. That's what I be saying, bro. Motherfuckers would rather go off numbers than play the game, than watch the game. You gotta watch the game. But hey, appreciate y'all. Peace. Find me everywhere in the description. Peace.